Newcastle 1, Man United 0. Anthony Gordon is back again. No John. He does not play for Everton like I mentioned last week. He is in form for the Geordies. The lone goal. A game that, if we're being honest, Michael, you mentioned this in the group chat. We said it to Nick. It looked like you guys just got off of a 3-hour bus trip.
Let's see how many adjectives I can list off about everything without screwing up, mispronouncing a word, or using a word that doesn't mean what it means. Listless, an abomination, effortless, pathetic, disgusting, vomit, shit, or shite, excuse me, to connect correctly. It's yeah, I get it, the 3-hour bus ride, but like you left at 11 a.m., you got there at 2 p.m., you had 6 hours of like, and it's not like you're sitting on a stinky ass school bus that I'm sure we've all sat on, feeling nauseous, you know, when there's you feel every little pebble of the road. Like you're on a coach bus with brand new Beats headphones and probably, you know, like getting fucking foot massages, you know, from the team masseuse or wherever you want. That's not an excuse. That's pathetic. Like I mean, I'll save the rant maybe for a little bit later. So I have like one thing that really drove me nuts, and it wasn't really about the game. But if you're gonna show up like that, then just don't even bother. Like just don't even bother. Like Tony Martial looked like, you know, they say Messi looked like he had the ball on a string. He looked like he had the ball in a pinball machine, which was his feet. Like Marcus Rashford just stands there, and he's more useful as a used car dealer with the wavy arm things, you know, in the parking lot. I mean, the only person
for the two men.
Yeah, like the only person that played well. Harry Maguire's our best fucking player. It's like it's pathetic, and we're relying on an 18-year-old in the middle of the park who's crushing it, like playing his ass off. But Scott McTominay was back to his old shit. I'm just gonna stop because it was honestly like genuinely embarrassing to watch that game. Absolutely embarrassing.
You touched on a few things that I got to see some content on, some online Manchester United people talk about. One, let's start with Tony. We know your thoughts on it. You saw him yell at Erik Ten Hag. What has to happen to get this guy finally out of your club?
Throw him off the bus while you're driving to the next game.
We don't want anyone to get injured, but yes, that's a great idea. Other one, Rashford. Does he not want to be there anymore?
I you know me, I'm a huge Rashford guy. I don't know what's happening with him.
40.
I just don't. Yeah, like it's. I saw something the other day. It's not. This might be. I think it was Goldbridge that said it. You know, it's not a dip. You know, last season was an uptick. That was the exception to the. Yeah, that was the exception to the rule. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, what are we fucking doing?
Did you ever think that at this point in the season you'd be singing the praises of Harry Maguire? Yes or no?
No. I mean, why would I? Why would I ever think that? I'm a normal,
dumb question. Of course not.
Yeah. All right, and then my last one, which I actually think is a little bit more insightful, and Michael, I'd love to get your thoughts afterwards too. Amrabat. Has he actually made any type of impact on this team yet?
So, no. When he first got there, a good thing it's just a loan deal, you know? Even though it's like a $4 million loan deal or whatever the fuck it is. He was like playing wingback or something. I just don't think how they're set up is like built for him currently. Because, you know, like the player he was for Morocco is, you know, was unbelievable. I think... And again, you can talk about all these players. I agree with the Rashford thing. We're gonna start having to ask the question of, what the fuck is Ten Hag even doing? Like, what is the idea? What is the process? Because I was watching this game, and the one thing I noticed most of all, other than like the white and black shirts of Newcastle just running around everybody, Joelinton absolutely just dominating anybody that was near him all the time. Every single moment of the game. They had people running through constantly. They had every single pass. They had options all the time. Every single pass for you guys had to be perfect for you guys to get through. Otherwise, they just crushed you. They took the ball off you. You guys had no shot. I just don't know how that's sustainable, and I don't know how that is an improvement. And I know that there's injuries, and Newcastle's injury-ridden too. I think this is the third game in a row this exact starting lineup is played. And the first game, all of them played up to 80 minutes, and then it was 4-1 against Chelsea. He subbed a bunch of them out. They played the whole game against PSG, this exact team, and they played the whole game against you guys too. So, I'm sure they're beat. I'm sure they're tired. Joelinton didn't look like he was tired at all. He was going after it. But I just don't think. I think at some point, Amrabat's just got here. Essentially, I don't know if he knows what he's supposed to be doing. And I don't know if a lot of these guys know what they're supposed to be doing.
Nobody knows what they're. I mean, and the fact that we still had a chance, and unfortunately Harry Maguire did everything he could to get out of the way. We still, and all of a sudden for the last 10 minutes, you get a draw, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's okay. We got a draw at St. James Park." No, it's not okay. It's you're a privileged individual to play for any professional team. Let alone the club that you were born up, growing up, and all those things. And you're just going out there, and you're just hanging out. It's pathetic. It's a privilege to be in that position, and they don't act like it. But I was looking at something too. At least with Oli, we had some pretty bad moments with him, and obviously the whole PE teacher stuff they joke about. But dude, at least we played with some heart and would go try to score, go and attack. At least there was a little bit of that. Like when you said today, John, and I'll let you go after this one. When you said, "Oh, we're begging for I hate the fact that I have to wish for a pen, towards the game." I mean, that's 90+ minutes. I'm literally the Michael Scott. I'm literally Michael Scott. I'm ready to get hurt again every time I turn the TV on because I don't know what to think anymore.
It's an interesting point you just made though. It does feel like if you look at both these teams in this game, it was a tale of two different mindsets for their manager. I feel like everyone, to your point, Michael, Joelinton would run through a wall for Eddie Howe. And I think when you had Ollie, there wasn't as good a talent there. And Ollie may not have been as good of a manager, right? But they wanted to play for Ollie. They had fun. I don't know. That's an easy thing that I thought and I picked up. Closing stat. Since you beat Newcastle in the EFL Cup final, 3 games, 3 losses, 6-0 on aggregate. And I'll let you go and get us out of here.
Yeah, I mean, first off, let's give Newcastle credit. They were awesome. They were, I don't want, this isn't one United played terrible. I mean, they were awful, but Newcastle was awesome. No, this is what really drove me nuts to get all the notifications after the game. Can everybody stop writing, "They're so far off winning the league"? Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. We know. We get it. We know. They suck. I just want to make top 4. Which is that's a stretch in its own self. But quit it with this. We know. Get some new content. Have a brain of your own, and write about something useful that people want to consume. Not the same horse that you've been kicking for the last decade. Sick. It popped up. I almost threw my phone against the wall. I was so angry when I saw it. What do you think we are, idiots? I could keep going. Nobody needs to hear this.
All good. Times have definitely been better at Man United. Good point, though. Get us out of here with this. Newcastle win against United, played really well. The draw against PSG should not have been a draw. They played really, really well there. And then that win against Chelsea, 4-1, right before that. Good win as well. And it came off the back of that 2-0 loss to Bournemouth and the 2-0 loss to Dortmund. In all honesty, I think that they need to hope they either drop out of Europe or get into the Europa League if they really want to. I think they don't have the depth yet. And they're going to be an interesting out in the Premier League if they get out of Europe.